Guam is a tropical island located in Micronesia, one of the most spectacular regions for scuba diving within the Pacific. Guam is the southernmost island of the Mariana Islands and has been a U.S. territory since 1950. Today, Guam is a hub for traveling within the Pacific, with flights arriving daily from Asia, Japan, and Hawaii. Guam is also the ideal starting point for other travel within Micronesia. The island's scenery offers the visitor lush jungle valleys, secluded bays, and sandy beaches. A constant water temperature of 80 degrees and clear visibility make for perfect diving conditions. This video features some of the many popular dive sites on Guam, starting with one of the island's most well-known sites, PD bomb holes. The name is misleading as they are collapsed caves rather than bomb craters caused by the war. Safely located on the inside of the reef, this site is easily accessible at almost any time. With a maximum depth of 35 feet, this is an enjoyable and safe dive even for the beginner diver. Sloping sand flats lead into the holes, where a number of large coral heads can be found. Throughout the dive, one will encounter a multitude of tame reef fish waiting to be hand-fed. Moorish idols, sargents, and butterfly fish can be seen here in abundance. PD bomb holes is also a great site for night diving. Next, we take you to Apra Harbor, where one can find a great variety of dive sites. Reef dives with easy beach entries, coral mounds rising from the bottom of the harbor, and World War II wrecks waiting to be explored. Like PD bomb holes, this next dive site is a main area used for scuba diving classes. Apra Beach is also called Outhouse Beach, nicknamed after a structure that once stood on this beach which resembled an outhouse. It's located in a well-protected part of the harbor that's easy to access. Divers simply wade in from the beach to reach this site. The reef drops down to about 25 to 30 feet, where it levels off into a sandy bottom. Several large coral heads inhabited by hundreds of fish can be found in this area. Damselfish, butterfly fish, spine cheeks, and yellow spot emperor, to name just a few. The observant diver can also find small octopus, lobster, and eagle rays. A short boat ride will bring you to Finger Reef, a beautiful site located on the harbor side of Orote Peninsula. The top area of the reef is at 15 feet, and the sides drop off to a depth of 120 feet. This site is interesting to dive at any depth. Finger Reef is abundant with life. Thousands of small fish inhabit the reef. Groups of needlefish swimming just below the surface follow the divers' bubbles. Schools of larger fish can be seen in the open water around the reef. Sea turtles are often seen at Finger Reef. The Val bomber was a casualty of World War II. It's one of the most accessible wreck dives since it can be reached without a boat. The airplane sits at the bottom of a steep slope on the harbor side of the glass breakwater at a depth of 85 feet. Above the water, Guam's natural beauty surrounds the visitor. The eastern coastline provides striking vistas. Rugged coastlines with crashing waves, and beautiful bays where freshwater rivers have created channels that reach the outside reefs. Throughout most of the year, prevailing winds from the northeast make for rough water conditions on this side of the island. But with knowledge of the tides and currents, divers can experience diving a vast area of unexplored territory. Canoeing along slow-moving rivers is the best way to experience the idyllic beauty of the island's lush vegetation. The east side of the island has several waterfalls, and their cool water-based ponds invite visitors for a relaxing swim, giving the feeling of a true tropical paradise. Guam's scenery changes dramatically as one travels across the island. Descending to the west side, we return to Apra Harbor to continue our diving at Gab Gab 2 and Sume Cove. Gab Gab Second Reef is a coral-covered mound that's located about 200 yards from Gab Gab Beach. A 5-minute snorkel to the buoy brings you to the reef. The top of the coral mound begins at 50 feet. There are many sponges, anemones, and soft corals on this reef, and fish life is plentiful. Barracudas, turtles, schools of large jacks, and the occasional white-tipped shark visit this area. A tourist submarine operates on this reef, so divers should keep a safe distance. Sume Cove can be found at the southern end of the harbor and can be accessed through Naval Station for a beach entry or can be reached by boat. The reef wall descends to a depth of 75 feet where it reaches a sandy bottom. Sea turtles can be seen here occasionally, and a large sea anemone colony abounds at 15 feet. Hourglass Reef is a coral-covered mound located inside a deep, narrow channel near Western Shoals. Its highest point is at 50 feet, then slopes down to 130 feet. Its shape resembles that of an hourglass. This reef features some fascinating sponge growth and reef creatures. Clusters of large barrel sponges can be found in the deeper areas. Guam has a variety of water sports to offer. Jet skiing, parasailing, canoeing, surfing, and snorkeling are the most popular activities. Submarine and glass-bottom boat tours provide a glimpse of the underwater world from a different perspective. Of course, one should make time to enjoy the beautiful sandy beaches and warm sunshine. The American tanker was a barge used during World War II to transport materials. It was sunk about 40 years ago as part of the harbor breakwater construction. This wreck can be accessed from the shore, but it's much easier to dive as a boat dive. The tanker sits almost upright, with its stern facing toward the mouth of the harbor. The wheelhouse rises toward the surface, its top being at a depth of 40 feet. Because of its tilt, the ship's starboard side is at 80 feet. Whereas the port side is only at 50 feet. The bottom of the tanker rests at 130 feet. This wreck has several large rooms with open exits that can be safely explored.